I decided to do a video about our concept, the history, where it comes from, where we're going. The first part is where it comes from. In 2012, like a lot of people in the West, I had no idea what Ukraine was. If you'd asked me about Chernobyl, I would have told you it was in Russia. In 2012, I visited Kyiv. I flew into Boryspil, old Boryspil, and came into city center. When I walked down the street, the one thing I noticed was the children and their parents. Unlike the children in the West, the kids weren't laughing and playing as much. They didn't have sparkles in their eyes. And you could tell the parents were not sure that their children would have a better life. A couple of years later, after the Revolution of Dignity, in 2014, I came back to Ukraine. As I walked by Maidan, I could see kids playing. They were laughing. There were sparkles in their eyes. And their parents knew that they were on the path to a better life for themselves and their children. Then a war started. The Russians began a war in Donbass, Crimea, and took over parts of the country. And for 8 years, there was a war that these kids lived through. It was in the back of their mind, but they lived through it. In 2022, all hell broke loose. The Russians attacked all of Ukraine in a brutal invasion. It was genocidal in nature. There was no reason. Certainly the children would never understand, because those of us as adults can never understand. That is the background. That and learning the history of Ukraine. That for centuries the Russians have tried to destroy them. The culture of the Ukrainian people is one of my youth. It is a place where people believe in individualism, freedom, and the ability to have a better life for ourselves and our children through hard work. That is what Ukrainians believe. So the culture captured me. I began to read. I began to read books by John Steinbeck, who talked about Russia and Ukraine and how they aren't the same people. He wrote the book in 1947. It was called A Russian Journal. It's fascinating. And the more I knew, the more I understood. And the more I understood, the more I knew something had to be done. In the early 1930s, there was an event in Ukraine, done by, of course, Russia and Stalin. It was called the Holodomor. Between 6 and 8 million Ukrainians were starved to death. Children were deeply affected. And there's a statue in Kyiv of a young girl. The eyes haunted me. I would always visit her whenever I came to Kyiv. In early May of 2022, I visited that statue again. It was at night. I'll never forget the time. I stood there. When I looked in her eyes, I could hear her say something. She said, "Why are they doing this to us again?" You see, generation of Ukrainian children have lived through this. I made a promise to a statue that day that I would do everything I could to help this generation of Ukrainian children and allow Ukraine to become what it truly could. That is the beginning of Heroes of Light. It's idealistic. It draws from many, many different fields. But it's to help the children, the ones who suffer the most, and all of the children, the ones that rarely get help. I hope this series will help you, and I hope you reach out to help us.